Mother's Day. It's very illusory who or what mothers are. We can look at the word alone, and the main word in it is other. So, thinking deeper, it has to do with others. See, we all know that the mother. I shake my head because it's not supposed to happen, but I'll get to this shortly. Mothers are these codependent people who set themselves so aside that they basically get walked on. And later on, they can feel disenfranchised, or they're like their life has been lost. They have to regroup and get their way about them because they've been so about other people all the time. And I'm here to shake my head and tell you, no, no, no. That's not what I know, the mother that I know. It's the same as saying God if you say mother or father. We're not talking about anybody particularly. We're just talking about God, to tell you the truth. See, I really just dawned on me that Mother's Day is here. See, my mom has been dead since 2010. She succumbed to her um, complication of having MS. So, on top of having dealt with a terminal illness, she was a mother, and to me was the ultimate mother because she honored the evolution of human consciousness. She wasn't so selfish as what I'm looking at, who calls themselves mothers, who, you know, a lot of insecurity, this codependence, what's just underneath the mask of needing to have kids, or why you have kids, or what happened there. See, my mom, wow, this is Mother's Day. See, when she was 19, she got married to a multi-millionaire. This man was considerably older than her. Just had an arm piece, really. I mean, that's what he was all about. He was most likely a narcissist, right? I mean, but he was a gauges engineer for hydroelectric plants. And he traveled the world to install these gauges for the hydroelectric plants. She was went to India, Italy, all these places and it was out in the rurals, out in the jungles, but she traveled on private Lear jets, holding a poodle with a diamond around her neck, wearing a mink coat, to and fro to these places where they would stay for months on end while these electric plants were being built. The one thing about what happened with my mom and him, the reason why, what happened was she got to be around about 28, and she wanted to have kids. Well, he had a vasectomy. And I guess back then there wasn't reverse vasectomies. I guess this was in the 60s or something like this. And so my mom said, no, after a while, she's just like, I can't really do this. She has an urge to have kids like crazy. Just, this is what I want to do. So she gets a divorce. She has to get away from this guy. Um, And she does. There's a string of events that happen in her life to where she, like I think one of her great aunts died, who was a little well off, and she inherited a little cash there, and so she was able to buy a house. She was always just independent, right, like that, and so she had a nest, and she was ready to have kids. See, that was complicating, though, to get out of that relationship. Imagine that, I mean, she had a Learjet, mink coats, a little tiny poodle, engineered fucking doghouse, this guy giving her everything and anything, but something about it, she just said, something I need to do, and it's called my life. Get out of this fake matrix life here. Materialistic pig, probably. I don't know. I really don't know. But it was time for her to move on, to have kids, to have me, you know. So to just kind of look at that, and then so she was diagnosed with the possibility of having MS for some reason when she was 19. So it was always lingering, I guess. I don't know. That's really questionable, but I guess through blood testing, but also, yeah, big butts, because you can live in such a way that would prevent these things from incubating inside of us. That's just the bottom line. Not well known there, but anyway, let's talk about this mother of mine who just moved to her instincts. Now, we are a human being. We're not animals. So a human's instinct could be set up, could be set up to know something of its creator, God, the higher intelligence, right? It's not so much animalistic is what I mean. I mean, we have that in us which we can observe and we can have the higher mind that can observe it, and like you say, see, go with it or don't go with it. The main thing, though, see, this is where I wanted to talk about mothers and Mother's Day and women and the whole thing. It's a crock of shit. Mother's Day. It's celebrating a steaming hot crock, unless it points back at God, which is just living under the truth of truths. Boy, having said that, it's like, wah, wah, wah. Oh, wait, excuse me, who are you? Wait, excuse ah! No, just kidding. Somebody hates me out there. It's like most people who live in denial out there that says, actually, maybe you are being selfish as hell. If you think you can own anybody, now there's a difference between saying I claim this and I have love for you and I shelter you and I take care of you, rather than saying I own you. I'm going to mold everything about you according to my desires, and really it's my insecurities. We see this everywhere. See, my mom couldn't really afford much of that, so, oh God, I wanted to simplify this video to talk about love. See, I honor my mother on Mother's Day as just who she was somebody who honored the possibility that you can love. You can be loved, and you can be loved. That's what we really are. We're not necessarily people. See, mothers and fathers are dead-end roads. What lasts is love, and what love really is in India, we call them the good friend. It's your inner place of evolution when it comes to love. Where are you with that? See, here you get the sense that you need to be protective. Yes. And you need to become aware. See, my mother was all about becoming aware of the consciousness of it. We are here to make love, or get the fuck out of my face. My mother honored that, And what I'm really saying in code language, in case you fucking people misunderstand this, honors God. God is love. So, you can say, you could say, what's that saying my grandma used to say? She says, um, if you love God more than you love your own children, then you will never let your children down. And then I will add, and you won't let anybody down. You're not there to fucking run a line or a game on people based in your insecurity, so deep-seated that you don't even know why you had kids. Really, it should not be a why, but just a, I gotta do this. A lot of women are highly instinctual about it. They're supposed to do it. Others, maybe not so much. Maybe it's nothing but a mistake. You see, I've ran into women who, more often than not, babes, and this is not my mother, but these are mothers. See, see, my mother was so different than a lot of other mothers out there. Incomparable. I mean, you really shouldn't compare, right? And it's kind of immature for me to do that. But really, if she was a saint, if you knew my mom, see, she was the ultimate example of a mother for me to honor and say on Mother's Day, say, yeah, no, this person loved God more. She loved she knew that there was the possibility to de-evolve. There was a possibility to cut down the level that you are at as far as your lovability, and you don't let that happen. See, I sound just like her right now, and she would have conversations with people that would last into the night about love. You see, she is the one who keeps me out as much as possible, really. Reaching 50 and experiencing, oh no, I'm vulnerable, I do need help. What do I get? I get the unconscious shit going on there. I don't point fingers, I say there's something unconscious happening that was predatorial. And whatever has set, the system up to allow this predator game to happen includes getting married and getting fucking trapped. Whether you're a man or a woman, you have entered into a loveless, fucking godless trap. There, honeys! You bet. Otherwise, you are maintaining your vortex. You have a responsibility towards that. Your parents handed that down to you by what? Communicating. This is a very touchy subject matter. Nobody's business, really, but to share what I honor as what the capital M, mother, really is. It's the same as saying God, capital G, or Father, capital F. These aren't people. They are an embodiment of love. And because what comes through them is God and or the truth, there isn't anybody there. Or is there? You see, getting back to this populism, I know that a lot of you could hit like, you could say, yeah, no, that's the truth. Selfish, fucking really, I don't want to get on their case, but they're so ignorant, it's to the point of selfishness, right? Selfishness. They're just so ignorant. They don't even consider that that's a whole other life there. Like, do we have a safe place for it? Of course, we're all going to be victimized by our ideals. My mom is not free of that. But what happens is that you rely and you you rely on another person, like, say, like, now you get together, and there was chemistry and love, and you set your side up and you did all your work. This person probably didn't do all their work, probably couldn't, probably was broken. Some people are highly abused, to the point of being broken. These are our narcissists. These are the ones that, okay, it's none of our business. Can you provide a shelter for yourself? See, that was my mom, first off. I mean, okay, whoever got her married to a multi-millionaire by the age 19, and she's riding on her private Lear jets to and fro India and Italy and all of these foreign places, and actually living there for a couple years, getting these hydroelectric plants built. And she left journals. She used to write. I have this high packed up of her papers. I guess she typed it out, of all her storytelling about all of her journeys. Literally, like, and she's a very, very observant mind. I mean, I'm not talking about an idiot here, but even though that this is somebody who gets married at 19 and goes, whoops, has to pull out, hey, that's her amazing life, right? And then has to pull out of that. Imagine that, just, she wanted life. She didn't want that living death system of just her being a dolly on the arm of this millionaire who she was pretty. She was pretty. So she wanted kids. She had that drive in her as a woman. As a woman. What about Woman's Day instead of Mother's Day? That's more real. Let's honor men and women. Because it's like any other name, and men and women is one. It's just not good enough. Any word, no word is good enough for the truth, the experience that you have in reality. So trying to end this after 20 minutes almost here, gosh. One thing that my mother said was she was on time with it. She was on time with it, babe. We're not going to church on Sunday. She was on time. When it was time to say something to her kids about something, that in case they would get entangled, because, okay, maybe I was displaying something of a non-self-reflective nature. I was around 7, and she picked this certain time to tell me, there is only one reality behind all realities. And I kind of rounded the corner, and I thought about that. She knew that I would think about it. And I can't tell you how it changed me for the rest of my life, only because she said it at the right time. That's the kind of person she was. Not as my mother, but as a really good friend. Mothers and fathers, they disappear off into the distance. They are dead-end roads. You either had a good friend there or not, and they last forever. That's who you find shelter in, love. That's where the safety is. No amount of money. No amount of money is going to give you that. You see, my mother, she died at the age around 60 or 62. I don't even think she made it to 62. Succumbed to symptoms of, succumbed to complications of having MS. And she's not a perfect person, but within, she told me of the person named Jesus, which is just a name. But you can feel the energy that name represented, the Christ Jesus. And so she taught me the Lord's Prayer. And I use that as a mantra. See, this person represents the embodiment of love to me, who is and will always be a really good friend.